All right, so it is Friday evening, a special Remote Pathways podcast, first in its kind, which is our Facebook Live. Michelle and I wanted to give a very special message today to our community and to the greater world, given that this week has been a big focus on making the shift to remote work. So with that, we're going to start streaming in just a minute over at our Facebook page. It's just preparing our live streaming preview, and then we're going to be live over at our Facebook page. So the live broadcast is just about to start, and it's fetching our stream, and there we are. Hey, welcome everyone. It is our Remote Pathways podcast. It's just going to take a few seconds for us to go live, I believe. It's fetching the video stream, and hopefully it's going to be fast enough. That's my hope, at least, that we're going to be fast enough as we come to you for a very special Remote Pathways podcast. So welcome everyone. If you have not seen the voices behind Remote Pathways, this is Michelle and I, Michelle Mullins and Jennifer Britton. So good to see everyone. How are you doing? How are you tonight, Michelle?
I'm doing great. It's just, I'm grateful to be connecting with you on a Friday night. That's unusual. Usually we're here on Tuesdays, but we have something important to share with our listeners today.
Absolutely. And so it's still fetching the video stream. We'll see if this is just going to go live perhaps on our other platform, which is using Zoom, which we are more accustomed to. And we also brought some slides with us just to really, as a starting point, wanted to acknowledge just how this week has really been focused on the remote space. And given our focus on the remote space, it's really key for us to be here this evening. So I'm going to just check. And Michelle, what would you like to say as we get started for our call this evening?
I think more than anything, if people can hear us, we just want to let you know that we care and that we're here to serve. We're just grateful to be in this space with you for such a time as this. And we hope to just provide you incredible value right now for this transition.
Yeah, and with all that's on the go, we hope that you'll continue to reach out to us here at Remote Pathways just as a resource, one of the many resources. But given that we have been doing this work for many years, we hope that we can be a trusted partner and trusted advisor with you. So this is a bit of a special call. We typically meet with you on a Thursday, and tonight we just wanted to take you through some of the different options that you might want to be tapping into as you get going. So with that, a couple of things that are available if you are having to go remote quickly. Number one, remember there's the new remote white paper, and Michelle has put all of these on a great new page. It's her handiwork. You can head on over to remotepathways.com and check out the resources page. You'll find the remote working white paper right at the top, but keep on scrolling down because we've got other sections. What do we have as different sections there, Michelle?
Yeah, so we have access to our community, resources, courses, and more. So you'll find recent articles and connections to community, just all sorts of things to help you during this time.
And given, many of you have already made the shift this week to remote work, maybe working from home, others may never make that shift. And again, it may be something that is in your domain or not. If it's not in your domain, please share this with others. We are always, though, bringing people together. And as coaches, part of what we want to be continuing to create in our community is a space and a place just to bring people together to connect. As the world changes and continues to change, that can raise a whole series of emotions. Certainly many of us might see this as really a defining moment. I think it really is a defining moment in life in many of our countries. And we do want to recognize that even if we are in different locations like Michelle and I are, we can still have conversations across the distance. And so Michelle is in the US, I'm in Canada. And, I think in both of our countries right now, there's a lot of different emotions playing out. By the 20th, we really want to be holding the space for our next special March community call. That call is going to happen on March 20th at 7:30 a.m. back here in Zoom, and it's open to anyone who'd like to join us. What we like to do in these regular March calls is just really bring people together for a pause, for a chance to reflect and take stock of what's going on, and also to connect in with others. And if you are new to the remote world, it might feel very different. I've had a lot of conversations today where a lot of people are finding this a whole new way to work. And so we want you to know that really you're not alone. There is a whole slew of remote workers which have grown in magnitude so much this week. And we want to make sure that we're also sort of like a point, a place for people to come together. So Michelle, anything you want to mention on the community calls?
Oh, I think you explained that beautifully. I would just say we hope to see you there. Please join us.
Drop on in. And part of this is really exploring what's possible,
Mhm.
in this new chapter, in this new book, what's possible for you. We acknowledge that this week things may have shifted quite dramatically in your world, and certainly things may continue to be very, very fluid. Um, it's a great question to ask, what's possible from current state, where I am today in this moment, what is possible? And with that, I think some of you might be realizing you may need a couple of tools to help you navigate a little better or a little differently in the remote space. I've had a lot of calls today about the Virtual Facilitation Essentials, which is a one-day program that I'm offering and continue to offer. It does equip people with skills on how to use Zoom, how to have conversations in the remote space. And just a reminder, we've got a couple additional one-day programs coming up on Wednesday, March the 25th, also Wednesday, April the 1st. Given that things are so fluid, I may also be offering a session on the 19th. That's Thursday afternoon of next week. So stay tuned. All of these evolving dates and times are going to be available to you over at remotepathways.com, at our resources page, as well as our Facebook page, which is the same name. So with that, consulting support. That's a strong word for us as coaches, but Michelle, what would you like to say about the different types of support we can offer to individuals, leaders, and organizations?
Yeah, I think the first one, transitioning into working from home. I know it was a big transition for me when I went, because you're not just communicating with your team at work, it also includes your family. So it's just a different routine. So if we can help just bring any kind of peaceful productivity tips to you, little tips to communicate or have important conversations with your family to kind of guard that remote space, let us know. So yeah, just recognize and acknowledge there is a transition, and it's okay to you're learning something new. So give yourself grace in this moment, and know that we're here to help you. How about you,
And
Jen? What would you share?
yeah, I would even say, beyond grace too, for many of us, and I've been following the headlines across North America, even Europe today, and for many of us, our schools are also being closed for several weeks. So how do we keep business running? Well, we may have parental support, caretaker support, and I think a lot of that can create weight for us. And that's another reason why we wanted to really jump onto tonight's call, just to say, hey, you're not alone.
Mhm.
I'm navigating this, Michelle's navigating it, and it's not easy, and it probably isn't perfect, just like this recording, but that's okay. Because I think what's important in the remote space is that we just keep moving and we keep connecting, because it is a very different space of work and action and events as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well said. Well
So
said.
hopefully that you join us, whether you need consulting support, not just for you, but if you're an organization. I've been having a lot of conversations this week with organizations. How do they quickly transition their programs and events over to the virtual space? I can't tell you how many calls I've had from organizations saying we've had to cancel this or we're having to repurpose it. How do we make sure that it's an engaging conversation and not people sitting in one place for 8 hours? And that's really, I want to just spend a little bit of time, because this is what I wrote on 3 years ago in Effective Virtual Conversations. The virtual space is not about being talked at, It's about creating a dialogue, creating this conversation. So if you like to read and you may have a little bit more reading time on your hands, there is a Kindle version over at Amazon for effective virtual conversations. Look up Jennifer J. Britton, download it. There is 444 pages of goodness, whether you are a business owner, whether you're a leader, whether you just need to figure out how do you have better team meetings. And I had a conversation this afternoon with an organization that realized we've got an important meeting that has to happen. How do we ensure that that is going to go ahead and not just be like a meeting, but be a wow meeting in this moment in time? And I really do believe that we have the tools. In fact, many of you, as you embrace these tools, and that there's where the training for VFE comes in, I think you're going to really enjoy this space. It's a lot of fun and a lot of focus. Anything else, Michelle, that you want to talk about in terms of consulting support? Because we both have a bit of a different focus. Like, Michelle, where would you say your primary focus is in terms of support at this time to remote workers?
The individual. I just really thought one-on-one is my sweet spot of work. So God gave me big ears to listen. So I really like to listen to your heart. And I would think my number one tip, I had to do it this week, was take a moment to disconnect from technology and and the television, and just get some quiet space and kind of get in that place of peace. Because a lot of times when I get in that heart space and I come back to consider the possibilities, my perspective changes. So that's kind of more the space that I feel equipped. I also, yeah, just more the individual or small team or organization. I'm here to help.
Yeah. And why I love partnering with Michelle is because I bring the other piece, which is,
Yes.
how do we lead through times of complexity? I've also had a lot of former people that I've worked with in my global career over the last 30 years reach out and say, Jen, you've been through change, not like this. I'm not saying like this is any other moment in time, but this is one of those moments when we have to lead through uncertainty, where we are being challenged as human beings to lead through complexity. So how do we as leaders remain calm, remain grounded, make the best decisions in the moment when things are so fluid and ever changing? And these, not this exact context, but this is a type of climate that I grew up leading in. And while I would not assert that I have any answers, as a coach, what I really have been tapped on this week is to be having conversations with people who are having to make the decisions, helping you think through implications, short term, long term, implications for you, your team, the families, and the communities, and the customers that you support. So, together, along with the network of coaches that we also work with and other professionals in the remote space, please reach out to us, and we'll have more details again at the Remote Pathways Facebook page. You can find my phone number. Certainly, I will be taking a bit of a break this weekend when I can, because breathing space in crisis is also really important. But you can reach out to us and let's set up a conversation, right? That's part of Remote Pathways. It's about having a conversational space to really help you become aware, like our blog posts are saying, but also enable you to do your best work. Anything else you wanted to mention tonight, Michelle, as we've maybe gone on to Facebook, maybe not, but that's okay. We've experimented. Never perfect.
Okay. Yes, what was coming to mind when you were talking again at the resource page, our last community call might really benefit you as well. Our recent podcast guest, Jennifer Grody, she really guided us through kind of an emotional intelligence activity, just to kind of navigate any emotions that you have. So I encourage you, it's a free download on there. And if you watch the community call, she actually guides you through that experience in the beginning. So I encourage you to check that out. I think it would be really helpful for you right now. So yeah. And these great articles. I actually shared this with my community this week. Great article, Jen.
Well, again, as a writer, whether it's been in books or blogs, I've got a lot of content coming out. So check out Thrive Global. You'll need to look for my full name, Jennifer J. Britton, as well as the Teams 365 blog, where the effective virtual conversation tips have gone for 133 weeks already. So there's no shortage of things that you can get your hands on to help you do your best work. But I hope one thing that you're getting out of tonight's call is it's so important to just be in the dialogue, to have these spaces that we can leverage and create and problem solve together. And that's what we want to hold the space for. So we do hope to see you next week, Friday, Friday the 20th, not the 13th, Friday, March 20th at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, whether you are in New York City, in Toronto, down in Florida, that is the time zone we're working from. So adjust your time, and we'll look forward to coming together for a 30-minute call. That's as long as our calls are, but we really know that you will find some great value. So be sure to bring your journal. Also bring a pen, because we usually have a quick pause to get you grounded, as Michelle said, and get you thinking about what's important.
That sounds good. I don't know if you can hear, part of the remote working space are your pets, and my little puppy is pawing at the door. So if you can hear, just know that she agrees. She's inviting you to. She's up on the wall, by the way. That's who you can see her. But go ahead, Jen. You keep talking.
Well,
And
to the co-working, part of what we want to start working on next week and in the next couple of weeks is actually holding a space for some virtual co-working. So come and join us, have a few hours together. More details will be posted on our Facebook page and remotepathways.com. Here was the impetus. Michelle and I were talking about this about a week or two ago. And then, just based on conversations I've had in the last 48 hours, people who have moved quickly from an office to a virtual space are finding it challenging. And so why not bring your projects with us, join us in a virtual co-working space where we can get things done and get things off our list, which is so important. It's important to keep moving in the virtual space, as well as one other piece, which is why we're doing this on a Friday night, to actually take a break. Very easy to just be working around the clock. It's very seductive to just keep that computer going. We do hope that you will find some time to have a digital detox or a digital break this weekend. And with that, Michelle, anything else before we go to wrap up?
No, it's just been just joyful to be in this space with you, and we hope that we've been helpful. If you have any questions or there's any supports that we have not mentioned that are coming to the surface, please let us know, because we can design on the go. So just let us know. Keep us in your loop.
Yeah, keep us in your loop. Michelle and I are here to serve you. Together, we bring more than 50 years of program design experience. We're both, and I would put this term on you because I've engaged Michelle and her partners for award-winning programming, actually in the remote space. And very much we are here to help you navigate the work and also the learning and the conversations into the remote and virtual space. So with that, everyone, have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us for this inaugural special call that may have gone to Facebook. And if not, we'll see you again soon.
That's okay.
It's all right. Okay. remotepathways.com. Thanks again for joining us. Take care, everyone.